the Verdict is the most stable mid-range in my bag. I love the Verdict. If I had to play around with one disc, I'd probably go with my putter. But if I needed a disc other than my putter, I would definitely throw the Verdict. I just love the fact that I can throw it out straight. It's always going to finish a little bit left. I can stand on this disc. Again, much like the Air Enforcer, with my arm speed, I have a hard time turning this over unless I really intend to turn it over. I rarely accidentally turn over my Verdict.
This one is more like the Moonshine EMAC Truth, but it's not as overstable as it, so I can put it on the hyzer, but it flips back up straight a little bit more than the EMAC Truth, and maybe has a little anti-shot at the end than the Moonshine one.
This is a little bit more stable. This is a good disc. It pretty much goes straight, and then it tends to cut hard left towards the end of the flight, and this is just a really good disc.
This is by far my most favorite mid-range in my bag, if not my favorite disc that I carry. It's just such a reliable disc. I carry, my main one is the Fusion Verdict, and then I also just put in a BioFusion Verdict. This one is great because I can put a lot of power behind it. I don't have to worry about my power. I just know that I can just throw it pretty much 100% power, and it'll just go super straight for a really long time and always fade at the end and get a really good amount of fade. And then the BioFusion I just put in, I anticipated to get a little bit beaten, but right now it does about the same thing. But over time, I hope it'll fill the gap between the Verdict and the EMAC Truth.
This is an awesome disc. It's my overstable mid-range. I can crank it on an Anheuser and it S's back every time. I can throw it flat and hard, and it has a really nice hard fade, hard finish. And what I also like about this is that it skips a lot. If I need kind of a longer shot that requires kind of a bigger skip, I'll use the Dynamic Discs Verdict.
This is such a great disc. I've been learning it more and more every tournament and starting to rely on it. It's very overstable. It's a lot like the Moonshine EMAC Truth, honestly, but a touch more overstable. So if you like a Moonshine EMAC, try out the Lucid Verdict if you want a little bit more stability at the end of the flight.
I have this, what looks like a Truth, but is actually a Verdict. This is a Lucid Verdict. It's a pretty early run of Verdict. I got this one from Eric McCabe because early on they were testing this this Truth stamp, and so they Dymaxed this onto the Lucid Verdict for him to try out, and now he's got a few of these, and well, I'm lucky enough to have one. Yeah, the Verdict is a great overstable mid-range, reliable to where you can get it out flat, but it's always going to finish left for you. Can handle some speed, can handle some pop. Yeah, I really, really like the Verdict a lot.
My probably most used mid-range is the Verdict. I don't consider the Suspect a mid-range. It's more of just straight up approach, but this one's good out to about 3 1/4 to 350, and it'll go out straight, and then it'll hook up and give me a nice hyzer finish, just a nice controlled shot.
The Verdict is, it's an overstable mid, but it's so fast and has a lot of glide that most overstable mids don't have. You can do a lot with the Verdict. It's not just throw it and it drops to the ground. You can get a lot of good distance out of it. Definitely dependable, and that's what I go to for overstable mid-range shots.